fog choked the city, a gray shroud blurring the skyscrapers into ghostly shapes. Ethan Cole gripped the ambulance wheel, knuckles white, eyes straining against the thick mist. Dispatch had just blared about a multi-car pileup, victims unknown. His partner, Mike Davis, cursed under his breath as they fishtailed around a corner. Then, chaos exploded into view. Twisted metal, shattered glass. The acrid stench of burnt rubber stung their nostrils. Ethan was already leaping out before the ambulance screeched to a halt. "Back up now!" he yelled to Mike, adrenaline spiking. "Every unit!" His gaze swept the wreckage, a silver sedan crushed like tinfoil catching his eye. Steam hissed from the mangled hood. He moved fast, and then he heard it. A desperate cry, thin but piercing. "Help me! Please!" Heart hammering, Ethan reached the driver's side, window spiderwebbed, shards glinting. Inside, a pregnant woman was pinned, her swollen belly jammed against the steering wheel. Blood matted her dark hair, terror blazing in her wide eyes. "Ma'am, I'm a paramedic," Ethan said, voice steady despite the frantic pulse in his ears, yanking open his kit. "Name?" "Madison," she gasped, voice trembling. "Baby, something's wrong." Ethan's mind raced. Trapped, labor, complications. He'd never delivered a baby in a mangled car, let alone a C-section in this hellscape. But then Madison screamed, another contraction ripping through her. No choice. "Madison, listen," he said, voice firm, cutting through the panic. "Gonna get you out. Stay calm. Can you do that?" Tears streamed down her face, but she nodded. Ethan went to work, practiced hands slicing through the mangled door with hydraulic shears. Finally, he wrenched it open, easing her onto a stretcher. Then, water broke, a sudden gush. "Mike!" Ethan barked, urgency ripping through his voice. "Get over here now!" Mike was there in seconds, face grim as he took in the scene. "Can't move her," Ethan said, voice low. "Baby's coming. Complications. We do this here." Mike hesitated, then nodded, grabbing equipment. Minutes blurred into a frenzy of precision. Ethan worked with practiced skill, scalpel flashing, while Madison moaned, strength fading fast. "Stay with me, Madison," Ethan murmured, voice a lifeline in the chaos. "You're doing amazing." Sirens, shouts, the world faded. There was only Madison, the baby, and his unwavering focus. Then, a cry, sharp and pure, pierced the air. A newborn cry. Relief washed over Ethan as he lifted the tiny, wriggling infant. "It's a girl," he choked out, emotion thick in his throat. "She's perfect, Madison." He gently placed the baby on Madison's chest. He saw the crowd now. Paramedics, cops, even injured bystanders, all watching, awe and gratitude in their eyes. In that fleeting moment, mother and child in their first embrace, Ethan felt it. Purpose. This was why he did this. This was the difference he fought to make. Later, back in his quiet apartment, the day's echoes still vibrated in his mind. Hero at the hospital, but all he craved was a shower, silence. "Sarah?" he called, dropping his keys. Silence. Sarah being out wasn't unusual, but tonight felt different. The answering machine's blinking light caught his eye. He hit play, half listening as he rummaged for food. "This is Janet from First National Bank," a voice started. "Calling about recent large withdrawals from your joint account." Ethan froze, juice carton slipping from his hand. Forgotten. Large withdrawals? Unauthorized. Unease coiled in his gut. Sarah had been distant, vague excuses, unexplained absences. Suspicion hardened as he dumped the juice and went to his laptop. Shared bank account. Screen flickered with transactions. Thousands gone. Months of withdrawals. Credit card statements. Worse. High-end hotels he didn't recognize. Hands shaking, he slammed the laptop shut. Unreal. But a cold dread settled deep inside. He'd seen this before, in families he patched up, broken apart. Resolve hardened. He installed hidden cameras around the apartment. If something was happening, he'd find proof. Cold determination settled in. He was Ethan Cole. He saved lives. He'd save his marriage, too. Weeks later, at the annual Cole family barbecue, laughter, music, the smell of grilling meat filled the air. Ethan moved through the crowd, smile tight, hiding the turmoil. His eyes kept drifting to Sarah, animatedly chatting with his sister Lisa. He watched her, searching for any flicker of guilt. "Uncle Ethan!" His nephew Josh appeared, watergun raised, eager for battle. Ethan was about to agree when a commotion at the gate snagged his attention. Rick Jensen, Sarah's slimy boss, stumbled into the yard, disheveled, unsteady. Drunk. "Where is she?" Rick slurred, shoving past startled relatives. "Where's Sarah?" Ethan moved fast, intercepting him. "Rick, you need to leave now," Rick sneered, shoving Ethan hard, sending him stumbling. "You're a fool, Cole," he spat, venom dripping. "Sarah was always mine. Always. Ever wonder why your kids don't look like you?" Rick's words slammed into Ethan, a tidal wave shattering his world. Reality blurred, the collective gasp of his family ringing in his ears. Pain, rage surged, but beneath the chaos a thread of reason held. Deliberate, precise. Ethan slipped his hand into his pocket, activating the recorder he'd started carrying. He locked eyes with Rick's bloodshot gaze, voice unnervingly calm. "Appreciate the confession to paternity fraud. Witnesses present," he said, words like ice shards. Rick's face twisted in fury, lunging, fists flying. Ethan sidestepped, practiced ease, Rick's momentum sending him crashing into the picnic table. The sickening crack of bone echoed, blood blooming from Rick's mouth as he crumpled. Stunned silence fell over the yard. Ethan's gaze swept over his wide-eyed family, landing on Sarah, her face ashen, guilt and dread stark. "Party's over," Ethan said, voice sharp, final. One by one, guests dispersed, murmuring disbelief. Ethan stood motionless as the dust settled. Unthinkable, but he was still standing. Time to plan. David Miller's office exuded quiet power, dark wood, leather-bound books, lending gravity to the air. Ethan sat across from his longtime friend, betrayal a lead weight in his chest. "You sure about this path, Ethan?" David asked, fingers steepled. "No turning back." Ethan's jaw tightened, a resolute nod. "Evidence reviewed?" David opened a thick folder, skimming. Bank statements, hotel receipts, security footage. Infidelity, compelling case, but paternity fraud. He paused, meeting Ethan's gaze. "Complicated." Ethan's voice, steady but low. "Need DNA tests. Confirm everything." David sighed. "Rick's confession helps, but DNA, definitive proof. Ready for what it might reveal? Kids you loved, raised, not biologically yours? Ethan's eyes hardened. Need truth. For me. For them. David nodded. Custody petition filed today. Full custody. Zoe's deception, neglect. Prepare yourself, Ethan. Get ugly. As if on cue, David's phone buzzed. He frowned at the screen. Already starting. Tribune running story. Hero paramedic messy divorce. Private life, front page news. Ethan closed his eyes, pressure building. When he opened them, resolve was unshaken. Let them. Nothing to hide. Days blurred into weeks. Legal battles, DNA tests, relentless media. Ethan buried himself in work, fleeting solace in the ER's chaos. Whispers, sidelong glances from colleagues, chaos seeping into every corner. Mike finally confronted him after a brutal shift. Jovial mask gone, genuine concern etched on his face. Can't carry this alone, man. Talk. Ethan hesitated, then Mike's unwavering gaze chipped away at his walls. He spilled it all. Affair, doubts, custody fight. Mike whistled low. Damn, Ethan. Didn't know it ran this deep. Listen, not alone. Whatever you need, I'm here. Ethan nodded, weight on his shoulders lightening a fraction. Leaving the station that night, the thought, not entirely alone, a faint glimmer of hope. Outbreak started small, then engulfed NYC hospitals. Ethan staggered from an ambulance, another marathon shift, exhaustion etched on his face. He wheeled a patient into the overflowing ER, spotting Dr. Carter, formidable chief of emergency medicine. Cole! She barked. He followed her to a quiet corner, jolted by her intensity. Relentless through this, she said, blunt tone. Dedication, exceptional. Ethan shifted, uncomfortable. Just doing my job. Dr. Carter's sharp eyes bored into him. More than that. Read about your situation. Ethan started to protest, but she cut him off. Not digging, helping. She handed him a card. Character witness, custody case, count on me. Ethan stared at the card, emotion thick in his throat. Thank you, Dr. Carter. Don't know what to say. Say you'll take care of yourself, she replied, tone softening. Burnout? No use to anyone. Go home. Order. Ethan left, renewed resolve. Fight for his kids, not over. But for the first time in weeks, felt not alone. Road ahead uncertain, but faint light of hope returned. Ethan tried to shake it off, but unease lingered. Sarah and Rick weren't done. Impending trouble gnawed, constant reminder to be alert, expect the worst. Carl Weber wasn't a saint of journalism. Survival artist, navigating media's shark-infested waters. When Rick Jensen approached, fat envelope, juicy lid, Carl listened. Series of articles, Rick began, slick grin in the dim bar light. Target Ethan Cole's paramedic credibility. Carl raised a skeptical brow. Cole, freeway baby delivery guy? Tough sell. Rick's smirk didn't waver. That's why we're paying well, Carl. Get creative, dig, dirt worth printing. Gotta be. Rick laid out his plan. Carl felt a flicker of unease. Not guilt. Years since he'd felt that. Discomfort, maybe. Still, money was money. Times were hard. He took the job. First article hit like a bomb. Hero or hazard? Dark side of paramedic Ethan Cole! Headlines screamed. Carl had done his dirty work. twisting minor incidents, weaving a narrative of negligence, recklessness. Ethan's hands shook reading it, anger, disbelief warring, masterpiece of distortion, half-truths depicting him as a danger to those he swore to protect. "Total trash," Mike fumed, snatching the paper. "Everyone knows you're the best damn paramedic in this city." But smear campaign worked. Daily articles, tide of public opinion shifting. Strangers whispered, parents pulled kids away, even colleagues cast suspicious glances. Pressure mounted. Ethan, irritable, sleep-deprived, exhaustion etched in dark circles under his eyes. Mike finally snapped, drove Ethan to a rundown community center. "What's this?" Ethan asked, eyeing graffiti-tagged building. Mike grinned. "Distraction, man. Youth mentoring program. Who better to inspire troubled kids than NYC's top paramedic?" Ethan opened his mouth to argue, but Mike nudged him inside. Teens slouched on mismatched chairs, wary eyes on the newcomers. "Listen up, kids," Mike announced. "Ethan Cole volunteering here. Don't scare him off too fast." Days passed, teens warming to Ethan. First time in weeks, peace. Here, he wasn't scandal, controversy. Just a guy teaching life lessons to kids needing guidance. Newspapers, court hearings, out of his control. But here, within battered walls, he made a difference. That realization, strength to face the storm. Days settled into rhythm. Work, legal battles, evenings at the center. Headlines grew absurd, but Ethan cared less. Bigger priorities. At the center, he met Addison, no-nonsense social worker. Warm smile. Scandal meant nothing to her. Saw a man trying to do right. "Good with them," she observed one evening, Ethan teaching first aid. "They listen." Ethan shrugged, faint smile. "Good kids. Just need someone to believe." Addison nodded. "Don't we all?" Standing beside her, Ethan felt a spark of hope. Whatever challenges, he was ready. Paramedic, helping others. What he did best. Meanwhile, Lisa Cole, Ethan's fiercely independent sister, nursed a whiskey in a smoky bar. Saw Sarah and Rick walk in. Nearly choked. What were they doing here? Pulling her hat low, she slipped into shadows. Eavesdrop. Pear sat nearby, whispering conspiratorially. Lisa feigned interest in the jukebox, straining to hear. "Custody hearing, 2 weeks," Sarah hissed. "Idiot Dr. Carter testifying for Ethan. Out of options." Rick, irritated, drained his drink. "Need something big. Destroy him." Sarah leaned closer, voice dripping malice. "Plant stolen hospital supplies in his kit. Make it look like he's using." Rick's eyes lit up. "Wreck him professionally. Court, too. Still got access to his place," Sarah purred. "Easy." Lisa froze. Not just dirty. Criminal. Bolted from the bar, mind racing, digging for her phone. Called Ethan. Voicemail. Cursed. "Ethan, Lisa, call back. Urgent." Sarah, Rick, planning something serious. Paced outside, chain smoking, waiting for reply. Phone buzzed, fumbled to answer. "Lisa, what's going on?" Ethan's tense voice. Lisa took a breath. "Big problem, Ethan. Sarah and Rick framing you. Stolen meds in your locker. Accused of theft." Heavy pause. Ethan's voice, calm, firm. "Start from the beginning. Everything." David Miller's office. Tense, makeshift command center. Ethan at the table head. Lisa and David flanking him. Dr. Carter stood by the window, normally composed face etched with worry. "Serious allegation," Dr. Carter said, voice sharp. "Success, ruin your career, hospital's reputation." Ethan's grim nod. "Undeniable proof. Without it, accusations, just personal vendetta." David leaned forward, planning. "Catch them red-handed. Let them think it's working. Expose them." "Dangerous," Lisa interjected, concern laced in her voice. "Anything goes wrong, Ethan, lose everything." Ethan's gaze softened, voice steel-edged. "Already lost too much to let them win. Fight back. Not a victim anymore." Dr. Carter nodded. "Security. Hidden cameras in locker room. Ethan, act normal. They can't suspect." Team hashed out details. Ethan, rare calm. Months, reacting. Now, leading. Days followed. Ethan worked. Professional mask, aware of Sarah and Rick watching. Hawks, waiting for a slip, a hint. Ethan gave nothing. Operation night arrived, nerves taut wire. Locker room, greeted colleagues, composed smile hiding turmoil. Weight of moment heavy, approached locker. "Cole," Dr. Carter called from doorway, authoritative, deliberate. "Office, now." Ethan turned, saw Sarah lingering nearby, irritation barely concealed, suppressed knowing smile. Followed Dr. Carter. Office, Dr. Carter's voice, loud for hidden mics. "Administrative leave, pending investigation. Serious allegations." Ethan played his part, confusion, frustration, stormed out. Saw Sarah slip into locker room, trap set. Hours later, Ethan, dim security office, monitors flickering. Zoe approached his locker, nervous fidgeting. Rick joined, guarding, while she planted stolen meds. Ethan's fists clenched, betrayal playing out, knowing one thing, witnessing another. Suddenly, locker room lights blazed. Police stormed in, Dr. Carter leading. "Zoe Peterson, Rick Jensen," officer announced. "Arrested. Tampering with evidence. Conspiring to commit fraud." Zoe's smugness crumbled. Shock, betrayal replacing it as handcuffs clicked. Ethan, flicker of satisfaction. No celebration. Courtroom packed. Judge Bridget Perez, towering bench. Ethan, David beside him, calm face hiding storm. Across aisle, Sarah and Rick, pale, whispering to lawyer. Gavel cracked. "Court in session. Mendoza versus Peterson," Judge Perez announced. Trial grueling. David presented mountain of evidence. Financial records, Sarah's embezzlement, DNA tests, Rick's paternity, video footage, framing attempt. Dr. Carter took stand. Testimony sharp, cutting. "All my years, physician, never witnessed such blatant disregard for professional ethics." Ethan watched Sarah, searching for remorse. Cold, unyielding. Hours of deliberation. Judge Perez delivered verdict. Defendants, Zoe and Rick Peterson, shocking lack of morality, respect for law. Court recommends maximum penalties. Fraud, defamation, tampering. Gasps echoed. Ethan motionless, absorbing weight. "Furthermore," Judge continued, "full custody, children, awarded to Ethan Cole, significant financial reparations." Gavel fell, trial over. As Sarah and Rick were led away, Ethan stood, addressed them, final time. Tried to take everything, he said, voice steady, emotion-filled. Won't forget betrayal. Use this. Become stronger. For myself. My children. Months later, crisp autumn day. Ethan. Millennium Park. Paramedic uniform. Quiet confidence. City recovering from flu outbreak. Ethan, forefront of response. Crowd gathered, renewed sense of purpose. Recovery far from over. But for first time in long while, hope shone. Mayor Lori Lightfoot approached podium, contemplative expression. Today, celebrate those stood steadfast, unimaginable challenges, guiding city through darkest days, she began. Paramedics, doctors, nurses, countless heroes risked everything. Among them, one individual. Extraordinary bravery, dedication stands out. Her gaze shifted, warm smile softening solemnity. Ethan Cole, come forward. Commendation, exceptional service, influenza crisis. Ethan stepped onto stage, deliberate pace, gravity of moment. Accepted award, eyes scanned audience. Mike, beaming smile, thumbs up. Dr. Carter, subtle nod. David, rare smile. Attention gravitated to faces that mattered. Front row, children, pride, love glowing. Bittersweet ache of gratitude. Beside them, Addison, social worker, warm smile, playful wink, silent encouragement. Approached microphone, deep breath. Weight of past year, joy of moment. Thank you, he began, voice steady, emotion infused. Honor, humbling. True heroes, people of NYC. Patients who fought. Families who supported. First responders who never gave up. Bleakest moments. He paused, words resonating. Past year challenged me, ways I never thought possible. Times felt like everything I held dear, family, career, identity, slipping away. Eyes met children's, unwavering pride fortifying him. But through it all, understood something profound. Strength, not defined by hardships, but how we rise to overcome. Each failure, each betrayal, each doubt, not endings. Lessons, opportunities. Grow, rebuild, create something better. Faint smile, unexpected peace. Stand before you today, not hero, someone deeply grateful. Second chance, better paramedic, better father, better human being. Promise you, won't waste it. Applause filled room. Ethan stepped back, relief, pride swelling. Made way to children, scooping youngest, others crowding around, embrace of love, reassurance. Addison approached, hand finding his. Gaze sparkled. Pride, unspoken promise, shared future, trust, love. Ethan Cole faced trial, pushed to limits, transformed. Suffered great losses, gained immeasurable strength, surrounded by family, friends, city that saw fall and redemption, deep resolve. Whatever challenges, knew he could face them. Unwavering support. Ceremony concluded. Crowd dispersed. Ethan turned eyes to NYC skyline. City saw him at lowest, stage for renewal. Road ahead, challenges, difficult conversations, sleepless nights, rebuilding trust. But for first time in years, profound, unshakable hope. Ethan Cole weathered storm, emerged stronger, if not unscarred. Journey far from over. Each step forward, resolved to keep building better life, one patient at a time, one moment at a time. Continue mission, not just to save others, honor life he was rebuilding, for himself, those he loved most,